Welcome everyone to our monthly QA. I'm gonna make some happy bingo players straight away because apparently we're having some technical difficulties with my webcam. But
What's the
welcome
issue this
everyone.
time?
Thank you for being here.
Welcome,
Um,
welcome. Can everyone hear us properly? So it's the first question.
I'm
Our
just gonna
volume's
fiddle
nice
about
and...
quickly. Jay, talk. Let me try and figure out my webcam.
Yeah. I was talking just before. Could you hear me? Or did you just ignore me?
No, I hear you. Go for it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, welcome everyone for this year's first live stream. Since last month, I didn't yet have internet in my new home, so that made it kind of difficult to have a Q&A. But yeah, happy to be here. First one of 2022. I'll just. We have some questions asked in advance. Beef asked us a few. Shall I just get into them, or are you
Yeah,
still focused on
let's.
your webcam and need a second?
We can start the questions while I do this. I'm almost done.
Okay. Because the first one is probably more a question for you, because you managed that, is how's the reception to the Loot Store? For context, we launched loot.kanka.io at the end of last year, which has some merchandise, some t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and journals. Launched that because it was a request from some community members for some time, and we thought it'd be a nice addition for people to show support to Kanka, not only online, but also in the real world, be it at the office or at home. So yeah, the
The
question is,
answer's
how was the reception?
it's not like yeah, it hasn't exactly kept up or grown the way that we could have hoped. We had an initial spark of interest in December when we launched it, and then yeah, that pretty much evaporated by January. Which I guess like there's no big occasion to buy anything for, right? So that could explain part of it. Though to be fair, I need to show off our merch a bit more, and we also need to get that designer.
Yeah, so this is a call to action to community members. If you want to help us create cool designs for t-shirts or mugs, please contact us on Discord and let's see what we can create together. I also really need to buy a t-shirt and a mug for these live streams to better show off some of the merch. But for people who've received it, their merch, seems everyone's been happy with the products. We've had one small issue, but that was resolved as far as I know.
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, hopefully as the community grows, people also see use the merch store more. But yeah, also part of us is promoting it more because we just launched it on the Discord and that was about it.
yeah.
So
We'll
once
create a link
again,
actually. Like we should create an announcement, in the admin panel. Like just
mhm.
say it's online.
I think we did.
Did we?
We did. Yeah.
Maybe we do it again.
So yeah, or when we drop more merch, we should do a limited 2 week only merch to. I think that's how the big players do it these days. Like, oh, buy this limited T-shirt for only 2 weeks available in the store. Make fear of missing out demand.
I don't know if there's
But
there's
yeah,
enough
no,
demand.
no, 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 no. Yeah, Charalampos chiming in, loving his Kanka shirt, and Volder confirming, yeah, you did. Ping it once per month. Yeah, I feel like this live stream is a nice reminder, especially once I order some items and get them and show them off more during the live stream. Valdu would buy those limited shirts, so yeah, sadly, just we appreciate the sentiment, but just one person spending time doing a one limited limited release. Uh, it's gamey at our level. So yeah, probably not at the time being. We'd rather just have things available and people buying them when they have the funds available, rather than making a demand a fictional fictional scarcity. So, next question we have is, how was the start of 2022 compared to the same time last year? This is both business wise and how we feel about the product. You want to start with the business wise and I'll follow up with the
Business wise
product?
has
Or?
been pretty good. The very beginning last year, so January, February last year was some of our biggest months, and so um, it's always a bit hard to compare because, right, on the one hand, they could be outliers, or is it just like does it seem to be a trend that the beginning of the year is a strong period of the year for us, and that does seem to be the case. So yeah, pretty strong January. February seems to be off to a good start. I'd say that things are looking up. It's good
Awesome.
news.
For the product, it's definitely been I think just the product has matured a lot last year with some redesigns, some simplifications and some workflows. Um, Definitely some, just the entity redesign and how we work that has been, I think, in the posts, entity posts, has definitely helped make the product better and more useful. Still lots of opportunities to make it better, but those were big ones to improve how an entity looks and feels. Um, I know we launched the marketplace in 2020, but 2021 just saw a lot of content added to it, which is also great to see. Like some plugins are installed in over 70 campaigns, which begs the question: should these plugins then be the changes they introduce incorporated into the core application? Um, but that's a discussion for another time. But yeah, the product is, excuse me, definitely at a. I'm proud of the work we've done in 2021 and look forward to continuing that in 2022.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Usually, yes, the first 2 months are particularly strong, and then it keeps up. So we expect to be busy over the next few months, I'd say. Um, and then yeah, summer comes by and everyone's chilling.
Yeah. Next question. Is there a feature that you really wanted to implement in the last year but didn't get to? I can answer that. I talked about it on the Discord. That last year I was hoping to implement Elasticsearch, which is a search engine for full text, and was really, wanted to spend time and energy on implementing that, and just didn't get around to it. Um, and that's something I hope to do this year. But as I've said in Discord, this is something which it's a task which sounds, it's very vague. There is no clear definition of done. So the search, full text search works. There's like a million ways people will want that to um, how it should work. So it's a really difficult task to kind of set clear like a roadmap or a set of features which have to be implemented. And I have no, like, my experience with Elasticsearch is from 2015, so it's also been a while. It's probably changed a lot. Um, but yeah, it's something I want to spend time on this year. And it's something which I can't, so I talked about this in Discord, um, can't put it in a community vote for subscribers to vote on, because again, there's no clear definition of that. It's something I just have to say, okay, I'm spending 2 weeks reading up, figuring out how it works, and doing a prototype and implementing that, and then iterating on that. Yeah, that's the one which I always think of when people ask what's a feature you want to build but didn't get to. I don't know if John, do you have any features you would have wanted to see implemented last year but we didn't get to do?
Not really. I think we did most of the big ones. I mean, I was hoping to have more of the rework done last year, but That's already a feature. As for the comments, yeah, I know. I don't understand why.
Comments regarding your webcam quality.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Anyway, moving on. This is probably a troll question. If Waldo were to come up with a question, what would it be? And Waldo already answered in the Discord. Can Cappy plush when? Can Cappy plush would be fun. Probably difficult to manufacture because there's no center. It's not like a typical creature or animal-looking entity. Probably doable, but yeah, we probably need to get substantial more traffic on the loot store on the store than before we can start thinking about plushies, because that's not as easy as finding a provider and say, hey, print this image on t-shirts and mugs. This is actually designing a Kanka plush. Kanka plushie. Next question. Sorry, John,
That's
not
actually
much
no.
for you
Sorry,
to add
there's
there.
actually a pretty reasonable question from Waldo on whether we plan on doing more community questionnaires for improvements. Yeah, I think. I mean, we always have to do them for a specific reason. It's not just about having them for the sake of having them. But yeah.
Yeah, parts of our next redesign focus. We've been talking to design about again throwing a questionnaire to our users like we did for the new entity view, and figuring how people use the characters module. So hopefully that comes up at some point. Designer has been swamped with work and family since the beginning of the year. So sadly we haven't progressed on that, but fingers crossed. Next question is again a question more for me, technical question. If you could take a week to clean up any part of the code and do nothing else, what would it be? So I kind of did that at the end of last year when I cleaned up a lot of stuff in the Kanka application. I removed some old third-party plugins which I was not using. I cleaned up some of the database structures, which caused some issues, including some which we'll fix with tomorrow's update. But I already did a lot of cleaning up last year. If I could do more, excuse me. Can't think of anything off the top of my head. There's just lots of little bits where I know this should be improved. Some of the permissions should be cached. So just the application is a bit faster, especially for like public users. Because a person who's logged in and member of a campaign, their permissions can change fairly often. But for a public user, I feel like there's some optimization which can be done there to just make the application faster. So yeah, probably cleaning up some of the permission stuff. And I've done a bit more cleaning up with the next update, just deleting old files, old bits of code. I probably need to spend some time cleaning up some old translations, like text in the app. Some of them helper text might not be so up to date anymore. And yeah, that's basically it. And
I don't think I have a say in this question.
yeah. One thing I've been thinking of, like, again, improving or cleaning up. Well, no, well, improving, so it doesn't count. Okay, never mind. The last question, which was written before the live stream, was, do you have any big features planned in the coming months? And that's always difficult to say because big features we kind of attach to community votes for subscribers. Because, yeah, the people who support us get to decide what big changes we do. I think the biggest one, but not in the coming months, would be the search engine, or some of the redesign stuff. But that's all. There's no fixed end date for that. If I look at the backlog, because we have a ticket for ideas for upcoming community votes, I can have a look at that. I know. Yes, of course. Now I remember, because we've just talked about this in the Discord as well. It's better tutorials and like better helping new users, because we have one of our big issues is a lot of people find Kanka, create an account, maybe create a campaign, and never do anything else. They never log in a second time because either they get overwhelmed or the information isn't clear. So one thing I want to work on next month, and focus more on is improving the onboarding experience with like tutorials in the app itself for new users, or helper text, which you can then discard and they're gone forever. And also building with the community a proper documentation for advanced features and how to use certain modules. That's one of the focuses I have for the first half of this year. Just making it easier for users to find answers to the question about, let's say, I have to come to Discord, because we get not everyone wants to join a Discord and get lost in the memes.
Yeah.
And also the advantage of doing it in-app tutorials can be translated by translators. So again, it just helps non-English speakers to better understand.
I guess we started with a knowledge base, but I never really fully expanded on that. But the infrastructure's there.
Yeah, not even with the knowledge base. Tutorial directly in the app. Like you create your account and you create your first campaign, and there's a like small, this is where you can go and edit your profile. This is the entities you campaign. This is the page to manage XYZ in your campaign. Waldo has a question or more suggestion regarding tools. How about changing the interface to have to select the language for the campaign? And after creating it, and with that having a pop-up to a special link to public campaigns in that language. That works only if we have a full list of languages. At the moment, the language dropdown is languages of the interface of Kanka that is translated in, so it doesn't quite work. We have a lot of campaigns which are in languages which aren't supported by Kanka, but just since it's text, you can write anything. There is some things there, but again, public campaigns, big ones with like those who come up are usually boosted and have customization, and that can be kind of confusing to new users. Like, oh, why do all these campaigns look completely different? Where do I find all these options? So there's always the risk of throwing them to public campaigns can raise more questions for a new user when they just want to focus on, I just want to create my characters and locations for the time being and upload some images.
We had another actually interesting question by Wadu about considering streaming more. I know it's something that we've mentioned in the past at various points, but has never really come to fruition.
Yeah, that's something I want to do now that I have a fixed home. And hopefully even today I have someone coming over with potentially installing internet in my home, like fixed internet. But once I do, and once I set up a proper computer to stream, because this laptop struggles with even the live streams, it is something I want to do more. But at the moment, it's just, it's something I want to do more. But the question is finding something interesting for users. Coding streams tend not to be very entertaining, especially on Kanka, where I'm like, okay, I'll spend 5 minutes building this feature, this is the code, and voila, it works. And so maybe for bigger features, maybe some world building, which would work to some extent. I don't know. It's something I want to explore more once I have a stable internet in my home and
So wait, they
a
hooked you
proper
up?
streaming computer.
Did they legit?
No, that potentially someone's coming up today, but this being, they're not very trustworthy.
Okay.
My experience so far with they say they'll come in the afternoon, and then at 6 p.m. they call you. Oh, sorry, we'll come tomorrow, and then the next day, oh, sorry, we'll come
Fair
next day.
enough.
So maybe the guy didn't seem very. He seemed pretty pessimistic at the idea. He said it was possible, but yeah, that's a whole other discussion.
I think.
Anyway,
Yeah. Cool. Tutorials.
that's
Waldo made more comments about filtering public campaigns, working how boosted campaigns are displayed there.
they already have an icon, and there's a drop down. One of the filters is for boosted campaigns. So yeah, I personally think that the first step is not throwing them people to other campaigns, but more helping them in their own campaign. Text explaining what does this feature do, what does that module do, rather than saying, hey, have a look at these public campaigns for how other people use it. Rather, first introduce how they can use it. And someone asking, did I miss all my questions? Ornstein asked questions. Oh, he did. Sorry, he did before we announced the this live stream. So no, we actually have lots of. We have 6 extra questions from Ornstein.
Hold on, I'm just going to try resizing quickly my thing. So if my image goes weird, you know why. No, that's not going to work, is it? I'm going to be driven mad by this quality issue. I can see it.
Orin says many people are visual learners. Tutorial videos might be an option to think about. And we tried that, but the issue we have is Kanka is evolving so fast. These videos get, like, the concepts may still apply, but the visuals and they just get outdated really fast. So we end up linking to videos and say, oh, this video from 2 years ago, just be aware the interface, how to get to it has changed. The interface has changed.
There are a few videos
yeah,
on our YouTube which you can check out, and just you'll see how, while the basic concepts are still, true, most of what, like, the way things are changed just is completely different now, especially with the interface rework, with all the new features that have come up.
And like even the permissions engine, now we have the whole permissions engine on posts, which is a whole other thing. And in that video, there's just no mention about it because it didn't exist back then. And updating these videos is a lot of work, like creating a script, recording, putting the video, putting everything together, which is why a text-based tutorial in the app is a lot easier to update and is available in multiple languages because the translators can then translate the tutorials into their respective languages. So yeah. Moving on to Ornstein's first question. Thorin
yes, Thorin. Yeah,
follow-up, which leads,
if we could afford it,
leads into possibly doing that full time. Yeah, again, that's
yeah, sure. If someone is willing to volunteer, that would be great. But I haven't come across such a volunteer yet. We've had a few people who've offered to help us write articles, like tutorial articles, for the blog, and a few have been published already. But no one has volunteered yet to help us make YouTube videos, like tutorial videos. If you're offering yourself up, we'd be happy. We'd be happy to have you on board.
Which kind of comes up to Ornstein's first question,
Yep,
which is,
it
if you
does.
had unlimited budget to have just one thing, what would you each pick? Unlimited budget. So unlimited budget task was just one thing. I would just hire a full-time designer, which is something we've looked into but haven't had any success in yet. We had some leads, but didn't pan out. But just hiring someone who can, like, just someone who can help us design new features, new interfaces, or improve the interface of Kanka, take care of images for the store, create images like posts for social media, to give us some more individual branding on there, and post content, like an all around visual person. That'd be my take, and probably yours is the same, John.
For me, so I would just, I'm gonna give a slightly different answer just to make my life, well, just to make this more interesting, and something that make my life a lot easier is like a social media manager. If I could outsource one thing, it'd be the management of the social media, because all the ad stuff I love, I fully understand, I fully that's my jam. But then the social media stuff is not something that comes naturally to me, and it's not even necessarily about the money. Honestly, it's more about I'm so out of my comfort zone, and it's not something I get. That would be
Yeah,
what I
we're
would
both not.
outsource.
Yeah, definitely. Next question is, what's one thing you wish you could write off as a business expense or push some budget towards? I mean, my rent would be great, but
A new computer.
it's unreal. Oh yeah, your computer, a live streaming computer. That'd be a sweet deal.
That would be a sweet deal.
No, I'm already happy at the moment that I get to put my phone plan and my internet plan as a business expense.
Yeah. So we already have phones, and Jay has his internet, and those are already expenses. Yeah, for me, the only thing would be a new computer. It's probably mine's getting pretty old and clunky, and if I had to add a realistic business expense, it'd be great to put my rent on it, but it's not a realistic business expense,
like a comfy bed to be refreshed in the morning, my gym equipment. No, yeah, probably it would be a nice surprise if at the end of the year we say, oh, we have money left over and we'll have money to spend on new working equipment, computer.
Yeah, that is something. I mean, I've
webcam.
never officially spoken to Jay about this, but it is something I'm hoping to do before the end of the year. Is have a bit of a sort of a bonus, I guess, in the form of a tech voucher. Go nuts on work stuff. Something that's vaguely work related, New screen, yes, that works. Exactly.
A 34-inch curved Samsung screen.
Yeah, we'll count that. That's fine. Don't worry. Anyway,
third question. So I'm not saying.
If the imaginary KankaCon happened, where would you host it? I don't know.
I feel it's difficult because most of it's really 40% of our user base is North America and 40 is Europe, give or take.
Yeah.
And 20 is kind of scattered around the world. So I feel like those two choices would be somewhere in Europe, warm and cheap. Obviously, with us that want to come to Zurich for KankaCon, where you're paying $200 a night for a hostel or something crazy. Yeah.
Toss up between Europe and the US, I think.
Yeah.
Like, we'd have to see. As for the panels and the talks at KankaCon, I don't know. That's perhaps a bit too projecting the future for me.
Oh, like how to use, how to customize Kanka to your workflows, like advanced talks or talks of the history of where Kankapi came from and the uh, the glorious cult is heading and the beliefs behind Kankapi, like an indoctrination, a seminar on joining the Kankapi way of life. And also world building, like how different people use Kanka to world build or TTRPG related stuff. Like it'd be a pretty standard. Like I think it'd be more realistic of us being invited to host, not to have our own KankaCon, but
Yes,
to
says
be
caused by a
speakers.
sabotage. Yes, very much so. Sorry, I interrupted you,
Sorry, I
Jay.
was zoned out. um, yeah, I feel like it'd be more realistic to have a world building TTRPG event contact us to host one or two panels at their events. That would be like the more realistic first step, and something I'd be excited to do. I've helped organize events of the sorts in the past. Um, so if you have a local TTRPG world building event happening after the summer, once the whole Rona situation is better under control, but lobby them to invite us as speakers, I guess, and we will come decked out in Kankapi merch, robes, and distribute Kankaki clips uh, to those worthy of Kankapi's guidance.
If we move on to the final question, it's whether we've stumbled on any features when using Kanka and went, "Oh, we have that," or "Oh, I finally get why this was asked for."
Yeah, it happens a few times. It happened, I think, in November or December, or even January. Like recently, someone asked, "Does this feature exist?" And it's like, "No, sorry, it doesn't." And then someone corrected me, "Yes, it does." I was like, "Oh, I completely forgot that," because obviously, after 4 years of working on Kanka, um, it, it, uh, you forget all that you've worked on, and sometimes small tickets which you originally thought or I originally thought were not useful, I end up implementing and completely forgetting about them, and then someone asks, and then suddenly, oh, that feature is useful. I'm trying to think of an example. Uh,
We have
oh,
go
what
for it.
was recently implemented is well, this wasn't a surprise, but at first when people asked to add permissions on images in the gallery, I was like, that doesn't really make sense. But then when I implemented it, I realized, oh, you can now make the image of an entity. You can make the entity visible, but if you use the image from the gallery and that image is only visible to admins, that means your players won't know what, for example, an NPC looks like. So I was like, it all makes sense now.
We have a question actually as
Now,
well. Are types still planned on being replaced by tags?
yeah, this is a conversation which happens every 6 to 12 months. And last time I said, or the last several times I said I would like to replace them, but I never got around to them. And the community is so. I think I'm in the minority of thinking tags would make more sense. Um, at the moment, I just don't see that happening. Um, yeah, that's the basic answer.
Cool.
So, for some context, every entity has a name, a type, which is just a text field, and tags, which are the tags of its campaign. And there was some talk about, because tags are just superior because they have colors, you can have permissions, you can filter on tags. It just makes sense to transfer types the type field to tags. But like it's just one extra step of creating tags and keeping them up to date when sometimes you just want a type field. And type field is displayed in various lists while tags are not at the moment. That's one of the focuses on any potential redesign to lists is to make tags clearly visible. In that case, there'll be another use for only using tags rather than types. But for the time being now, it's on the back, not even on the back burner. It's just, it's not worth the effort if it makes half of the community angry.
Yeah, of course.
And it doesn't really make Kanka's code any easier because type is just a text field. So yeah, at the time being, it doesn't make sense. Like the only option I could see at the moment is an option in campaign settings where you say, just hide the type field. But even then, that's so yeah, not for the time being. Gabe.
Cool. Cool.
That's it for the questions that were pre-written, and we've answered various questions in the meantime. Yeah, and to Valdu's point, if you don't want to use the type field, if you have a boosted campaign, someone could probably create a plugin. Oh no, they couldn't create a plugin at the time being, but I could add a CSS class on the type column. And say with boosted campaign and a marketplace plugin, you could hide the type field from everywhere if someone wants that feature. But yeah, that's it for the questions. Next up, we can show off some new features from
Let me switch over.
1.22, the next update, which comes out presumably tomorrow. This is it'll probably come out tomorrow. I know that the QA team hasn't had time to test all the new features, but when it has an update ever gone badly, I say that ironically because I remember a year and a half ago when the app was down for half a day. And that was fun.
Yeah, I remember that.
But luckily, these changes are not all breaking. They shouldn't cause tremendous chaos. So let's start off with the main feature, and I'll let you interrupt me if there's any specific questions, as my eyes are focused on showing off the new features. The dear beloved create new entity or quick creator, which opens a pop-up which allows you to create some standard elements in Kanka, not all. It's all dandy. You can call it from any page, and it creates an entity in the background without you having to to update to move away from the page. But part of the latest community vote, which I can open, community vote February. In the latest community vote, our subscribers asked us to improve the entity workflow, which is a mouthful, but it means the little plus icon next to some forms. Now, instead of just having a pop-up asking for the name, they will actually call the same form as a quick creator, which allows you to set a name, a type, parent location, tags, and control some the default privacy settings. So I can now create a new location for them. Morley, he will be in Alchester, which is a city. Parent location, because I don't have the whole cam. And add some tags. Let's have a fancy tag attached. Create, and it has been selected, and it's been created in the background. And that's all very fancy.
Nice.
And this has been done to anywhere there's a plus sign. And in many places, some places don't have it, For example, the quick creator doesn't allow creating maps because they need an image, a timeline or calendar because those need a bit more information than just a name. So, but anything else can basically be created from here. And that brings me up to the next update. Part of the update is you can already see is this form looks different. This is a character form. You'll see that the entry field is now using the whole width, and some of the fields have been reorganized to better reflect what people are filling up. So we have the basic information up here, the entry, and then the sub information like age, gender, pronouns, the character's dead, and at the end always tags, image, and the privacy. And this change, let me quickly update Adam Morley here, has been duplicated to all forms. So if I go in a new location, same thing, name, type, parent location, boom, entry, and then tags and image. Canva is a bad example, but it's still the same idea. Name, type, current year, current month, current day. And I realized that the calendar is missing. Oh no, parent calendar is for some reason in this subform. So yeah, everything now, the entry field is large, just like it was for notes. I think notes was the only model who currently had it. So it's been tweaked a bit, name, type, parent, entry, tag image. And yeah, this is all around a... I'm not looking at chat, but I imagine everyone is ecstatic and
Yes,
celebrating
very
this
much so.
change. Very good. Very good.
Everyone,
this was
everyone's cheering.
perfect. Because yeah, this came up a lot because people spend a lot of time writing these entries and having them only on half of the width just doesn't make all that much sense if you're focusing mostly on text. So this should make your life a lot easier and no longer have to rely on the full screen mode as much, and just making these fields follow a more structured pattern, name type, parent if there's one, and the default options. So yeah,
Cool.
that's the second big change. And third big change, if I go back in Adam Morley, he has... Oh, well, I guess I can start with a smaller change, but you might notice on here this appearance and personality. And these aren't posts. These are actually traits, which get a new option, pin appearance and pinned personality. So you get to, if these options are selected, so make visible and add another goal. Personality, how do I speak manners? Mannerisms. Famous. It's not a mannerism, but it doesn't matter. Eyes. At least 2 known. Let's update. And we see the appearance and personality. And this always is, if the checkbox is activated, they're displayed below the entry of the entity. So if I go and move check invisibility on top of entry, check invisibility is being a post, the entry, check invisibility, the post, and the entry, and then the traits are here. Which brings me to a third... oh, that is animal. I need another example. Aaron here has a entity note. Let's go and look at it, inspect it, and this entity note has a ID. So I just post, and these are HTML anchors. So I can now go in Adam, edit Adam, add some information in the entry. The information in famous Adam Morley has a grudge against Adam because of, and that's Aaron, sorry. Let's insert an advanced mention and add anchor. Oops. I don't know, against Aaron because of. So we now have a new short code, which we can put anchor. If I save, and if I click on this link, it will focus on this entity note, this post, because it has a HTML anchor. It was technically possible already, it just makes it a bit easier to create mentions, advanced mentions, which point to a specific HTML ID of the page. Yeah, that's it for the main features. I'm quickly looking at the stuff. There's some stuff for timelines, blah, 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 blah. There's a new permission for campaigns. If I go into... Yeah, timelines also all have an ID. Every block, so for example, I go on Adam Morley's timeline. If I inspect it, I see that it's not as easy, but the body, not the title, but the body has an ID, so you can point to this as the anchor, the timeline element 23. Might add another one higher on the whole item, so it focuses on the whole element rather than the body. Might need to do a few tweaks to that.
Cool. Well, Q&A, better get moving. Better get moving.
Another improvement is a role can now be given the permission to manage the campaign gallery. So if a user of this role has the gallery activated, they can use the gallery of a super boosted campaign instead of just GMs. Blah, 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 blah. Looking at other improvements, nothing really exciting. Like lots of small changes. Another one is in the summer note, the default text editor, the table of contents button has been replaced, so it no longer injects HTML, the static HTML, just injects this shortcode. So if I save and load the page, my table of contents is as follows. In this case, it's only subheading, but let's create some more subheadings. Subheading 3. This is blah, blah, blah. Subheading 4. Sub 4. Ayo. Big header. Text. So if I save, I've been using subheading 3 for all of these subheaders, and it's a bit wonky, but yeah. You no longer have to remember to delete your static table of contents and regenerate it every time because it's now all automatic with this bit of code. And probably the change which I've been most looking forward to is, say I'm doing some session prep. So I'm creating my journal, blah, 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 and then suddenly I want to get some details from Adam Morley. And previously, if you clicked on this, even with control, it would redirect the whole page, and not allow clicking and opening a pop-up. But now if I control click, it opens in another tab.
Ooh.
So I can continue writing here and get the content in the other tab. It's glorious. I've been wanting this for 4 years.
Nice.
It has been done.
Nice.
yeah, that's it. And like 14 bug fixes, including bug fixes who are in the app since 3 or 4 years. That's so exciting. Tomorrow when we release it, the whole release note will be available for all to see. But that's the big stuff for 1.22.
Nice. Nice. That's a lot, frankly.
Yeah, and I was done in 2 weeks. When did we release 21? Not even that long ago.
Yeah.
So, blog.
Take this opportunity to ask any final questions, guys, both about what Jay has shown us and about anything else that you feel like hearing us talk about.
Should have taken. There was one thing I wanted to mention during this live stream, but I've forgotten. Or
That's
maybe
a
it was
problem.
the reminder that the loot store exists. Nah. Okay. If it's important, I'll remember and dump it in Discord. Oh, anyone who had the bingo opened can check up long awkward silence.
Cool. Well, let's nip that awkward silence in the bud then, shall we? Unless there are any more questions or comments or anything. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think we've reached the end of our road, Jay.
Yep.
I think
we have for this month. So thanks everyone for joining. Join us in a month for March's update, where we will talk about all crazy things which happen with Kanka in a month. So that's all I have.
Sorry, I was expecting a bit more there. I was like, okay, where's he going with this? Nope. Okay, cool. Well,
nope, that was it.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Always a pleasure to spend some time with you. And yeah, we'll see you on Discord and we'll see you in a month for the next QA. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye bye.